I'm Stephanie, and welcome to Wine Club. This is the playlist where I drink good wine while I whine about bad books. And seeing that it's almost Halloween, I'm all into haunted and supernatural stories right now, but I am a little disappointed with today's pick, which was actually a redemption read for Darcy Coates. And the jig is up. You can see by the title that I did not like this. And this is The Haunting of Blackwood House. So I'd read a book last year by Darcy Coates that made me want to rip my eyes out, but I'd heard really good things about her supernatural books, and honestly, I could see the promise in this. I could see that she can pull off creepy and the right horror elements. So I really wanted to give her another chance, but this second chance I felt kind of bit me in the ass. Like maybe I picked the wrong book and I need to give her a third chance, but I'm not happy. This is your warning that there are going to be spoilers in this review because I've got a lot of thoughts and feelings. And before I get to the review proper, I do want to say, like I say in all my reviews, that this is solely about the book and not about Darcy as a person. I'm sure she is absolutely lovely, and I am really happy that she gets her books published. Congratulations to her. But let's go ahead and see what this promised. As the daughter of spiritualists, Mara's childhood was filled with seances and scam mediums. Now, she's ready to start over with her fiancé, Neil, far away from the superstitions she's learned to loathe. But her past isn't willing to let her go so easily, and neither is Blackwood House. When Mara and Neil purchased the derelict property, they were warned that ever since the murder of its original owner, things have changed. Strange shadows stalk the halls. Doors creak open by themselves. Voices whisper in the night, and watchful eyes follow her every move. But Mara's convinced she can't possibly be in danger, because ghosts aren't real. Are they? So, first up, back cover copy. Mara and Neil did not buy the house, as Mara harps on and on and on about how this is her house, damn it, not his, hers. Also, they're not engaged. I don't know who wrote this, or maybe it changed with a few revisions, but they're not engaged. They're not fiancés. They're, ugh. Already, this back cover copy is setting me up to fail. So we follow Mara, who is an unemployed 21 or 22-year-old who is apparently quite the penny pincher, as she is able to buy this house. And the house that she wants is haunted. It's the ex-home of a serial killer and has no electricity. First up, back up. What 20-something is moving into a house to live there full time, and the house does not have electricity? You want a cabin that's that way? Cool, unplug for the weekend. But a house? Coates tries to add some humor by having the realtor tell Mara that she can get the internets out there. She says internets instead of internet. What a dweeb. But she ain't having Wi-Fi if she has no power. Do you mean 5G on her phone that she can't charge in her house? Is she gonna stroll into town to charge her portable chargers? She doesn't even have a car. Anywho, she wants this house. She wants it bad. Even though when they first enter it, they find it exactly as the last family left it. Like they left in the middle of dinner. Rotted food is sitting on the table. Moldy laundry is still in the washer. And clothing and furniture is still in the home. But it's affordable, so Mara buys the haunted house because she does not believe in ghosts. There's a rational explanation for everything. Except there isn't for a lot of the stuff that happens here. I mostly want an explanation from Coates on why I should care if Mara survives in her haunted home. Because she sucks. Seriously, she's the worst. I wanted to reach into the book and smack her across the face if the ghosts weren't going to do it for me. She wasn't likable, relatable, or even interesting. She has a lot of pride, which, trust me, I get. I too am a strong, independent woman. I too can be stubborn. But I still know when to accept help or how to ask for it. It's okay to let others into your life, Mara. But she is stubborn to the point of stupidity. She also likes to act tough, but of course she isn't so tough when Neil is not by her side, and she can't make fun of him for being scared. There's a point where she and Neil find what could be considered a snuff film, where one of the previous inhabitants was filming the supernatural activity and filmed their deaths on accident. What's Mara's response? Sucks to be them, but they're already dead, so her leaving this house won't change anything. Oh, and during that video, a kid is all, "The ghosts tell me to leave." Anthony, Peter, Ethel, and Mara. Neil freaks out, but Mara just bullies him into thinking it's just a problem with the audio. And that's it. It's never explained. What the fuck? Why include it then? She even gets the chance to meet with a former inhabitant named Chris, whose family basically wised up and escaped before things got really bad. And of course, Mara is an utter and complete bitch to Chris. Chris talks about how her younger brother almost hung himself, and so her parents got the hell out of there. And Mara, how does she react? Let's find out, shall we? Oh, look at me. I even tabbed it. I'm so good. So they're at this diner talking to Chris, so it's Mara and Neil. And basically, okay, how many deaths occurred there? Chris shrugged. I didn't look into it very thoroughly. It was starting to weird me out. Plus, my research options were limited before the internet. But I was able to confirm 8 deaths in addition to Robert's murders. Geez, Neil said. There's nothing wrong with the house. Mara was starting to feel attacked. I guess it would be then. There's nothing wrong with the house. Mara was starting to feel attacked, as though the criticisms leveled at Blackwood had applied to her personally. I'm sorry you didn't have a pleasant 2 weeks there, Chris, but everything you've told me is explainable. Of course you were all on edge after a fortnight of disturbed sleep and a crying baby. And Paul, you said he was only 6, right? Kids often do stupid, bizarre things. If you're trying to imply he was possessed or... I never said he was, Chris said. Neil leaned close. Mara, calm down. Okay. Mara inhaled deeply and tried to force her voice back to its previous subdued volume. Sorry, but I really do think your experiences were a combination of bad luck, a stressful situation, and group hysteria. No offense. Honestly, after seeing stuff like that, I don't know what Neil loves so much about her and why he's willing to put up with her. She is petulant, she is rude, and he is so perfect and adores her, and I don't get why. Why, Neil? Tell me, what do you see in Mara? Because I don't see anything. There comes a point where she smacks him, screams him, and rebuffs every nice gesture that he does. But he just keeps coming back, asking for more. He's the one to comfort her when she's mean to him. She can't do the things she says that she can do, and another character gets frustrated with her, and Neil turns and screams at the other character for daring to be mean to Mara. He loves her. He loves her so much. He tells her how lovable she is. Where, Neil? Can you point out the moments where it is? Because I sure as shit don't see how she's lovable. They've been together 6 months. Let's calm down a bit here. And again, fiancés? I don't think so. And especially since it's Mara, and she is the worst. I would rather him date Mona Lisa Saperstein than Mara. So right off the bat, she's a complete bitch to the realtor and laughs in her face, yells at her that she doesn't care that the house is haunted, as hauntings aren't real, and then later, when mediums come in to help with the ghosts, she's so fucking rude to them. It's okay if you don't believe it, but you don't have to be an asshole to those that do. Especially since these people end up saving your ass and your house. So I did tab 2 extra excerpts that I do want to look at. So we've got one on page 234. So at this point, she's already rebuffed the mediums that came to help her. They actually came back. These people are either really desperate for the money or way more idealistic than they have any right to be. Probably both. The woman bounded out of the van and approached Mara. Her companion followed at a slower, more cautious pace. Hey, Averica? Stopped a little outside Mara's reach. You, called? Mara couldn't fight the wonky smile that was forming. You have no idea how glad I am that you came back. And geez, I'm sorry about all of what happened this afternoon. I really messed up. But my house is haunted, and I don't want to be alone tonight. And if you could maybe get rid of the ghosts, that would be pretty cool too. Averica's grin scrunched her whole face up. She moved forward, arms extended, and pulled Mara into a fierce hug. I knew it. Of course we'll help. We're verified mediums, you know. Yeah. Mara awkwardly patted the woman's back. That's what I need, I guess. Averica drew back and gave her a quick searching look. We kind of got off to a rough start today, huh? How about we try again? I'm Averica. That's the stupidest name I've ever heard, Mara said, cheerfully, shaking the woman's hand. I'm so glad you're here. It was hard to see in the dark, but she thought the other woman's face turned pink. Well, my name's actually Erica. Averica is my spirit medium name. It sounds more impressive. Mara let her breath out in a rush. No, it sounds like something you'd find in a Mary Sue fan fiction contest. Erica's way better. She turned toward the man and gave him the warmest smile she could manage. Do you have a sensible name too? Or am I going to have to call you Damascus? Damien. A slow, faint grin was curling his lips. You are the worst, Mara. Like, why are you being so mean to these people who are trying to help you? I also tabbed... 268. Okay, so she's still hanging out with the mediums, and Neil has come back. And shut up, Erica shrieked from across the room. Mara turned toward the commotion. Evidently, the medium's discussion hadn't gone as smoothly as hers. You are such a jerk, Dame. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance. Damien bent low to murmur something, then drew back with a hiss as Erica stomped on his foot. Years? I'm not waiting years. Mara! Mara impulsively leaned away from the fuming woman. Hi? Erica stormed forward, grabbed Mara's wrist, and attempted to drag her away from Neil. Looks like it's just you and me tonight. Ready to do this thing? Slow down. Neil attempted to pry Erica's hand off of Mara's. You'll hurt her. Erica, Damien, coat whipping behind him, rushed in to block his companion's path. You can't do this alone. I'm not alone, she spat. I have my best friend, Mara, who incidentally is way cooler than you. Best friend? Mara blinked and shook her head. Lady, I wouldn't even call you an acquaintance. Shut up. I'm trying to do you a solid here. Erica glowered at Damien. This is private property, and I've been hired to do a seance, so you can either stick around and help or buzz off. Oh my god, some of this writing is so childish. So, really, those quotes bring up another issue I had with this. This read really YA and felt very basic. Now, there is nothing wrong with YA. It has a time and a place. But my expectations were not correctly set because this was not tagged as YA. But Mara, and again, all these other characters read so young. There are so many craps and oh geez Louise. And given how rough and tumble Mara is supposed to come across, I guess it is more Neil who's anti-swearing, but everyone in this is so Disney Channel. I mean, listen to those excerpts and tell me that I'm wrong. The tone felt really off in this. And again, the writing is just plain. Was this a first draft that was accidentally sent to the printer instead of the final draft? To me, the writing is just not great. It is very tell instead of show. And honestly, just boring at times. I didn't think there was a lot of personality in the writing. And some of the formatting is off. There's a paragraph that's suddenly in first person point of view. Not sure if it was meant to be in italics and to be Mara's thoughts, but then there are scenes where she'll be thinking but then speak aloud to the house. Like, she talks to the house at some points. Like, I guess you do you, Mara. It also threw me as we'd mix up British, or I guess Australian English with American English in like spelling and references. And like, I've had this issue before where people are supposed to be in America but using Britishisms. Like, one of the Britishisms is the use of mum, and we find out that Mara has issues with her own mom and dad. So they believed in the supernatural and mediumship and thought Mara had potential as a psychic medium. Well, Mara hates that shit and hates her parents for forcing her into it. And I can understand that. She wasn't into it and felt like it was forced on her. It's okay to disagree with your parents about spirituality. But she kind of blows it way out of proportion and talks about how she couldn't have friends and her dad drowned her pet rabbit. Like, she makes it out like she was days away from living out a Rosemary's Baby situation. But then later is all, well, actually, you know what? My parents really weren't that bad. My rabbit was sick, so my dad put it out of its misery. Which, surely, there had to be a better way than drowning it. And the whole she couldn't have friends, it wasn't because of her parents. Her mom threw her a birthday party and no kids came. Gee, I wonder why. Methinks it's more to do with the fact that the kids were smart enough to recognize that Mara is a real piece of work, and no piece of birthday cake is worth suffering in her presence. Because I don't want to. It comes to light that her parents really do love her, and yeah, they may have had some weird beliefs, but they were still good parents. Mara is such a little drama llama and exaggerates things that aren't that big of a deal and is oblivious to real problems. Maybe it's not even that she's oblivious, that she is willfully ignorant. She basically sees ghosts and is all, if I just close my eyes, problem solved. Why are people saying my house is haunted? It's not haunted, even though I can't explain what happens at night and it terrifies me, but I love this house with its bloody stains and bloody handprints. There's a point where we find out that the house was built by her great-great-great-grandfather or some shit, and he was trying to do the whole like 13 ghost things where he traps a bunch of spirits on a hotspot of supernatural activity, and she was drawn to this house because of that connection. But then she finds out that this great-great-grandpa was killed in this house, and she is downright giddy at hearing this, wondering if she can find his bloodstains and laugh at his demise. What is wrong with this girl? Now, I do want to give the book credit in the reveal of how the hauntings started, because that was kind of interesting, but not interesting enough to outweigh the other crap. So in the end, she becomes a ghost hunter / medium and works with Erica and Damien, the mediums, that she was a horrendous little twit to. Why? Why would they want to work with her? I mean, I guess they do because she's a Mary Sue who can master the medium skills in under a minute. But yikes, I do not envy them. The Mary Sue part is especially hilarious, as Mara had the audacity to make fun of Erica's name, or I guess like her essentially stage name, and said that it reads like a Mary Sue name. So funny. The book also ends on like a Disney Channel-esque ending of Mara deciding to forgive her parents, finally, let Neil and his mother move into her new non-haunted house, as well as invite Erica and Damien to live in the house with them. Run, you guys! It's a trap! She's a demon who will do whatever it takes to make the house actively haunted again. I guarantee it. Now, I did see a funny review on Goodreads from a user named Salma Rambles. I was looking for something quick, easy, and immersive to read on a low-cost flight that would distract me from the screaming children and cramped seats. This book made the prospect of screaming children more appealing. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I have to give this 1 star. Only because the haunting aspect was decent. Everything else, horrendous. Had we had a different main character or one who was a somewhat of a tolerable human, probably would have improved my rating. I really had no idea what Coates was going for with Mara as a character, but I do know that I hate her. Okay, so I ranted about this book for so long that now I'm a little worried that I've passed on and that my husband will think I'm a ghost when I make an appearance outside of my office. But if you have any recommendations of good haunted stories, please share those recommendations in the comments below. Or if you want to see me suffer more, recommend other bad haunting stories or stories by Coates that I should check out. I do think she is an author that I want to give a third chance to because, again, so many people have told me that her haunted house stories are good. I don't know if this one just suffers because of Mara as a terrible, terrible, terrible main character. Again, I do like the haunting stuff. She writes that very well. That is very creepy. But if you're going to recommend one, please recommend one with a good main character because I can't do another Mara. I will die. But again, if you have any recommendations of haunted stories, please leave them in the comments. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me for Wine Club.